If you should walk down to the waterfront in the coastal town of Braddock in the state of North Carolina, you'd probably hear a story told about one of the skippers in the fishing fleet that makes this port its home. For this skipper is a woman, a strange, gaunt woman. And you can tell, even at first glance, that she is living somewhere in the past, as if even now she were suffering in atonement for all the tragic consequences of her willful acts. There was a time when Ruby was beautiful and alive. And I believe it was this spirit of life and love that caused so much envy and resentment to be voiced against her by the narrow, class-conscious citizens of our town. For Ruby was born on the wrong side of the tracks. And though she struggled valiantly to overcome this stigma, the townspeople never let her forget it. I'd been in Braddock over a year and was still an outsider. They called me the new Yankee doctor. And then I met Jim Gentry, Braddock's richest man. Jim's wife was an invalid, and I guess he'd tried 50 doctors before he got to me. And somehow, right away, Jim Gentry and I became friends. On that bright September evening, Jim was taking me out to a hunting party at Jud Corey's hunting lodge. To a young and ambitious doctor, that should have been the main thing on my mind. But strangely enough, it wasn't.
Does Jud's daughter live at the lodge?
Oh? You know Ruby?
Well, no, I've seen her in town.
You couldn't miss seeing Ruby if she's anywhere above the horizon.
Trouble was, I couldn't figure any way to meet her.
This is going to be a mighty lively hunting party with you all set to launch a campaign for Ruby and Boake Tackman just home from South America. Ruby used to be real going on him.
Betsy quite tired lay down to repose while with one eye gazed at his Pike County road.
It sounds like they've already got a head start on Jud's sour mash whiskey. Don't let it shake you, Doc. It's just anatomy.
I never saw anything like it in dissection lab.
Oh, Jim, it's you.
Don't butter me, honey. I know you're disappointed. You're blushing, Sugarpuss. Here, Mr. Ginter sent you a gun.
Oh, boy, finished it real soon. Ginter's usually slow as tar. This gun's a hand-me-down from Pop. I had Ginter make me this new stock.
Oh, Ruby, this is Dr. Manfred. Only he'll like it better if you call him Saul.
Hello there, Saul.
Hello.
Saul took one look at you and got... Look, that glazed codfish there. I told him it was just anatomy.
And what did he say?
No, nothing much.
It was all good, Ruby. He thinks you're cuter than a speckled pup. Here, Mrs. Gentry sent you some sachets.
Oh, bless her heart. How is she?
Oh, about the same.
Sachets. Did you ever?
My wife set her heart on making a lady of Ruby.
Yeah, she didn't hold with the saying about making the silk purse out of a sow's ear.
Honey, if you're a sow's ear, when you come right down to it, what would anybody want with a silk purse, huh?
Mr. Gentry, sir. Well, we've been expecting you.
This is Dr. Manfred, Jud.
How do, Doctor?
Oh, Jud.
You're real welcome. Oh, just leave those things right there. I'll take care of them. Come in, come in. Exactly what? Jewel.
Yeah, Pa?
Fetch those things off the porch. Corner room suits you, Mr. Gentry,
Fine.
sir?
Hello,
I have to
Jewel.
put you in one of the rooms outside, but it'll save me $5.
Good.
Ma Corey! Best cook in Carolina, Saul. Her food's pure sin.
Hello, Ma.
Get some glasses of ice for the gentleman. Tell Jewel to bring in some more liquor.
Gentlemen, this is Dr. Manfred. Doc, the big moose is Clyde Pratt.
Hi, Doc.
Neil Fallgren over here.
Fallgren.
And Cullen McAuliffe. Any money you put in Cullen's bank, you can kiss goodbye.
Jim's been doing a lot of bragging about you, Doctor.
Oh, that's real
Well, I
nice.
want you to see this stock Ruby's got on her 30-30. Is that a dandy?
Yeah, pearl walnut. A beautiful hunk of wood, Ruby.
Yeah, I got it off the gatepost at the old Tackman plantation. I figured finders keepers.
Yeah, must be the only thing out there that isn't underwater.
I'd give my eye teeth for this stock.
It's like Sheriff.
Yeah?
Go ahead, Dan. I'll take the rest of this stuff.
Ruby. Where are you?
Hi, stranger. You look just about the same to me.
You have me at a disadvantage. I can't see what you look like. But I can imagine. Hey, give me that light. Let's see what I've been missing.
Keep away.
Have you grown any? I'll bet you filled out some.
Keep your hands off. Keep your hands off me.
You little devil!
Boake tells me, especially when he uses a bullet developed by Brennecke.
Oh, that's that ballistic man from Leipzig, Germany.
That's right.
Here's our guest of honor.
Oh, it's like old times having you back, Boake.
Judge been telling us some grand things about you, Boake.
Swear if he isn't better
Somebody get Boake a drink.
I get it.
Cartridge belt. I got that in Brazil.
Dr. Manfred, Boake Tackman.
How are you, Boake?
Doctor?
Home for good, Boake, or just visiting?
Oh, I'm home for good this time, Jim. I'm going to tromp on your heels.
Oh, got yourself some notion?
Yeah, a real harebrained one. Claims he's going to drain our old plantation.
Well, why not?
Oh, wet or dry. It's not worth a nickel. It's full of salt.
Well, salt's no problem. 300 acres of bottomland's a fair start. It's more than you had.
Me, I started out with 2 hands and a tough hide. Gonna raise cotton?
I'm going to raise quick cash crops. Produce I can ship north, because the plantation's only the beginning. Like you started out repairing tin lizzies.
Bo, you got too much energy for a Carolina boy. Wears me out just listening to you.
In South America, Boake, did those senoritas stir up your bloodstream?
Yeah, how about it, Bo? I hear they're real hospitable.
Well, I can't say they exactly cold-shouldered me.
Dinner, come on.
Yeah, but I never found one of them who could cook. That's why I came home. I saw a lot of it in South America, Dad. After they drain the swamps, they plow in chemicals.
You can't eat this rich food without good whiskey to cut it, gentlemen.
Nitrates. I've been shipping plenty to Panama.
I know. I figured on getting it from you. Might have to get some of it on credit.
Well, I suppose we can work that out.
Jim starts out by selling you something on credit, and before you know it, you're running another Gentry enterprise.
Smell that.
More turns out the best there is.
No doubt about it.
First time I've seen you waiting on table, Ruby.
Maybe the last time, so take a real good look.
I do that anyhow.
Boss said it's time she was learning to do a woman's work.
Oh, and maybe you'll sell me a 30-30. You got no more use for it.
Don't you just wish? It's bagging me a deer tomorrow.
Dad doesn't seem to think this plan's going to work, though, Jim. I can't sell him on it.
I raised Ruby like she was a boy.
And something sure must have got out of hand. Look at it. Except for those pants she wears.
Hear that, Sugar? Mr. Pratt wants you all over fluffs.
Boake's got a sound enough plan. Once the land's drained, he'll have collateral. But he'll need capital to buy the pumps and equipment.
Well, Boake's already talked to Cullen about getting a loan through the bank.
Oh, he did? Will Cullen go for your notion, Boake?
Well, he seems to. He said to drop in any time next week. We could talk the whole plan over, but...
You trying to brand him, Ruby?
Sprinkle some hair on her, and she'd pass for a bobcat.
Ruby.
I'm in your corner, Ruby.
Ruby, what's going on?
Huh? Nothing, Pop.
You're leaving the hour of reckoning out of your judgment. When the wicked shall be judged for the sins of the flesh and condemned to eternal and everlasting fire.
Don't let him rile you, honey. Here, now, can't you leave those things?
Come and sit down and talk to Jim and me.
No. Pop's getting you up before daylight. You better get some sleep.
We'll turn in pretty soon.
So far, I'm not doing too well.
No woman like her. 1 minute fighting, scratching. Next minute, she's as sweet and soft as any woman alive. Guess I like her wild side best. Can't help being glad that Letty didn't really tame her. Oh, you didn't know. Ruby lived with Letty and me for a couple of years.
When was that?
While she was going to high school. Should have seen her the day Jud brought her over to the house. She was nearly 16. Thin, wild, all eyes. Jud thought I was a good enough friend to come to in time of trouble. That pleased me. There had been a beach party given the night before for the high school football team. Boake was the star fullback on the team and one of the most popular young men in the county, which is why, I suppose, he always seemed to think that Ruby should be his for the asking. But Ruby resented his taking her for granted, and so that night, when he tried to get fresh with her, she jabbed him with her oyster knife. Even though she never let on, Ruby was scared. She knew somehow that she was in real trouble. Well, when Ruby suddenly appeared in Letty's bedroom door, Letty was surprised. She called Ruby over to her bed. And Ruby told her the whole story. How she was glad she'd hurt Boake because he deserved it, but she was sorry she'd hurt him so bad, and how, well, Letty was shocked down to her toes, deeply concerned for Ruby. She rang her emergency bell while she told Ruby that everything would be all right. I came pounding into Letty's room afraid that something had happened to her. Well, she said Ruby was going to stay right here with us a while and no ifs or buts, so she could have protection and care a young girl needs. Not having any children of her own, Letty set even greater store by Ruby. Taught her how to dress, how to act toward the servants, how to manage a big house. Taught her all sorts of nonsense. Then Ruby finished high school and Jud needed help, so he fetched her back to this. So maybe we weren't as kind as we meant to be, training her for a life she can't have. You see, Ruby doesn't belong.
You mean socially?
She's from the wrong side of the tracks.
You mean to say in this day and age...
You're forgetting where you are, Doctor.
But that's absurd.
It's worse than that. These fools are so full of pride about who they are, about their fine old family names, so blind with conceit over nothing, they can't see what she is. How wonderful it...
She is indeed.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night, Jim.
Ruby,
Go away, Boake. I mean it.
I bet. I saw how you looked at me
When?
before you turned wildcat and mocked me up.
If your face hurts, there's some stuff in Pop's medicine box. Go away, Boake.
Ruby, who you be hunting with tomorrow?
Doctor, I suppose.
Take him up toward the ridge. When you get him to our place, get rid of him. Ruby, will you?
Maybe. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
Ruby.
Hold it. Always put your gun through ahead of you.
Oh, thanks.
The other way, you're liable to get shot.
Thank you. You sorry you're stuck with a greenhorn?
Papa always pairs off experienced hunters with the ones who raw at it. You'll catch on. That's the trail to the swamp. Good place if we were after birds. They come there to feed. But you want to shoot them when they're flying toward high ground.
Why's that?
Try getting a bird out of that muck, it'll swallow you. It's tree deep and soft as pudding.
Beautiful.
It's not good for anything. But I guess it is beautiful. That hollow's a likely place for deer. You go on up the trail. When you get to the top, cut across the ridge. They'll smell you and come this way.
Won't they smell you?
Wind's blowing my way.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right, Doctor. If I tried to do your job, I'd be as dumb as a dog that doesn't know sick'em.
What do I do when I get to the ridge?
If you hear me shooting, we've got a deer. If you don't, wait up there and I'll find you.
Thanks.
Time getting rid of it.
Maybe I like the doctor.
Oh, Miss McAuliffe.
Jud, please tell Daddy I'm here.
Hello, Tracy. Come on in, honey. It was about 20 yards up the slope. Then, just as I fired, the wind came up.
That old alibi.
To help me.
I didn't even see the one Ruby got.
Hello, Clyde.
Tracy, honey.
My goodness, Neil, you look like a bear. Hello, dear.
Hello, honey.
Well, heavens, you don't have to stand. Sit down.
Oh, Tracy.
Oh, hello, Rube.
Hi, Tracy.
This is my daughter, Tracy, Doctor. Dr. Manfred, honey.
How do you do?
Oh, Vorges told me all about you, Doctor. Our cook. You delivered her grandson, and she says you're wonderful.
Thank you, Miss McAuliffe.
Ready, Boake?
All set. Here's yours, Dad.
Oh, thanks, boss.
My, you smell awful woodsy, darling. I came to fetch my men early. I knew they'd be dirty from head to foot, and I want them to look nice for my party. Hello, Jim.
Hello, Tracy.
The rest of you can take your time. If you're there by 9, I'll forgive you.
We'll be there.
Oh, Dr. Manfred. It's a little supper dance at the country club. Sort of a welcome home party for Boake. Please come.
Well, it's not as dull as it sounds, Doctor. If Braddock's the same old town, come sunup, you'll be riding home with nothing but a head.
I'm sorry, I'd like to, but I have an engagement.
Oh, well, another time.
Well, so long. We'll
Bye,
see you
boy.
later.
Bye.
Take care,
Here's
Tracy.
the club, fellas.
Sorry, Tracy.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Come on, fellas. Well, nice girl, Tracy. Got brains, breeding.
Yeah, brains and breeding.
Well, nothing been said yet about the getting engaged, but Cullen and I are all for it.
A surprise shower was given for Miss Tracy McAuliffe, who will marry Mr. Boake Tackman, son of Judge Henshaw Tackman. The Tackman and McAuliffe... Hello, Doctor.
Hello. Hello, Letty.
I declare, Dr. Saul, I'm beginning to think you have a case on me, the way you're always popping in here.
Do you mind?
Mercy, no. I'm partial to doctors. One of my beaux was a doctor. Miss Drucker's making me a new dress for the wedding.
Oh?
she's a spinster lady, poor thing. Got no idea what catches a man's eye. I wouldn't worry if Ruby were here. Nasty old needle.
I'm a brute.
I was just talking. I don't really mind. Whatever that medicine is, makes me feel lovely. Dr. Saul.
Mm-hmm.
Tell Jim to drive out and get Ruby. Tell him it's doctor's orders. He'll pay you some mind.
All right, Letty. I'll talk to him right now.
Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, hello, Saul. Jim. Hey, haven't you noticed a change in Letty the last couple of weeks?
In what way?
Well, seems to me she's a lot livelier. More interested in what's going on. Why, she's even planning on getting up to go to Tracy and Boake's wedding.
Yeah, she told me. She wants you to drive out and bring Ruby here.
I know, she asked me, but it'd be torture for Ruby with all that talk about the wedding.
Letitia's dying, Jim. This change, you notice, is something that often happens just before the end. Sudden resurgence of energy. Like a dying tree sometimes has a final burst of bloom. Just want another doctor's opinion.
No. How soon?
2 weeks, maybe less.
I only hope and pray she doesn't suffer.
Well, it'll help if Ruby is here.
Oh, no doubt about that.
It's the kind of dress that bowls men over. Makes all the women green with envy. Letitia, I swear you got the figure of a girl. May I have this dance, Letitia? Da-dee, da-dee, da-da, da-dee, da-da-dee. You're light as a feather, Letitia. Da-dee, da-da. This Letty. This Letty. Lie down.
Please, give me the button. When it got dark, I was frightened. Papa gave me a button and told me to hold on. Then nothing could happen to me. Hold on tight, please.
Miss Letty.
Did you notify Mrs. Gentry's cousins up in Raleigh?
Cousins, aunts, nephews, nieces. Anything else I should do?
You going to order the flowers? Then everything's taken care of. I just realized again how extraordinary you are.
Thank you, Doctor.
Not only because you're beautiful, you're so unpretentious and honest. You mustn't pay any attention to these people. This is a stuffy, snobbish town.
It's the only place I know.
Someday somebody will take you out of it, and you'll see... Ruby, I think you're wonderful.
Thank you, Saul. Goodbye.
Bye.
I'm going downtown.
Oh, here. Take my car.
Thanks.
Has Saul left?
He had to go to the hospital. You know, I think he started to propose to me.
Saul?
Huh? He lost his nerve. Is there anything I can bring you?
No.
I won't be long.
Well, Jim wasn't jealous of me. I'm sure of that. But he must have realized then how Letty's death had set him free. And now, each faced a painful loss.
Yes?
And a lonely tomorrow. It was unbelievable how many prominent families stayed away. Their excuses were convincing enough, but it seemed as if some secret conspiracy had been successfully executed. Well, I have an early operation in the morning.
Oh, ate too much. Takes a Yankee to appreciate this Tidewater food.
Takes a Yankee to show some manners.
Oh, no. Frank, tell them that'll be all for tonight. And they're welcome to eat before they go.
Good night, Jim. Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for showing up.
Good night, Ruby.
Good night, Saul. Forget it, Jim. The ones who did come had a good time. The rest of them don't matter. Not to me.
They underrated me. They'll find out they've been tempting Providence.
They'll never accept me.
No? We'll see about that.
Jim Gentry, how long is it you've been a member of this country club?
Why, nearly 10 years.
10 years? Blamed if I ever saw you before one of our Saturday night brawls.
Well, the penalty and reward of having a young wife, gentlemen. Oh, there's the next dance. I better get out there. Tab.
Yes, sir.
Ruby said if she was stuck with Grandpappy Stafford for more than one dance, she'd scalp whatever hair I had left. And that I want to keep.
Thanks for the drink, Jim.
Oh, hello, Doc.
Neil, how are you?
Good to see you.
What's the matter, Jim? Somebody snatch her away? Jim?
Yes, sir. Same as before.
Jim?
Doctor, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, now, this business they always hand you about not being able to mix your drinks, you know, I often wondered about that. Now, do you think that...
Give me a double brandy, please. And please put some ice in a towel.
I'll take that.
Yes, sir.
Here, drink this.
I don't want this.
Come on, honey, let's go.
Not till I finish with that scum. That filthy... Where did he go? Jim, don't be a fool. Take your hands off me.
Jim, what's got into you? I've never seen you like this.
Well, you little tramp. You're dressed up to look like a lady. It's a pity you can't behave like one, and none of this mess would have happened. Ruby!
Good night, Jim.
Good night, Doc. Ruby? I had no business saying what I did. I'm sorry.
Well, Jim,
No, not now. Well, tomorrow's another day.
I keep seeing Jim's face just before it happened. And then afterward, he was gone so quickly. It doesn't seem possible that he just swallowed up by the waves. How could he be gone so quickly? Maybe if I hadn't called out, he would have stayed below. Or if I'd called out something else besides his name.
You got to stop blaming yourself.
Without him, What's that? What are they doing?
Just making a racket.
Probably worked up about Jim.
Worked up?
I'll close the window.
Hello?
Murderer.
Who is this?
Murderer. Murderer.
Somebody calling me a murderer.
Hello.
Who is this? I'm gonna have you reported to...
They think I killed Jim? Sheriff Anderson, after questioning Mrs. Gentry, did not dismiss the possibilities of suicide or of foul play. He said he was forced to accept Mrs. Gentry's story since there were no other witnesses to the tragedy. However, he mentioned reports of domestic difficulties in the Gentry home and said that Mr. Gentry, only the night before, engaged in a fist fight because of Mrs. Gentry's attentions to another man.
Stay away from that window, honey. Don't pay them no mind.
Somebody's got to stop. Braddock Times? This is Mrs. James Gentry. I want to speak to Mr. Neil Fallgren. Hello, Neil. Neil, you don't really think that Jim killed himself? Or that I could possibly... Everything I told the sheriff was true. It was all lies, that story you wrote.
And after the brazen show you made of yourself the other night, I'd say you're getting off easy.
Sure I was Jim's friend. But let me tell you something, Ruby. When you sashayed in from the swamps thinking you was good as anybody, his friends should have sent you packing before you could hook him. And if we had, he'd still be alive. Tearing through the driveway. That's trespassing on private property. I'll stop him.
No, Judge, that'll just make things worse.
She's talking about...
Don't you understand what's going
Get
to
out of my way,
No,
no,
Judge, you've got
Poor
to...
shells.
Judge,
Little shells.
Get out of here!
You all right?
I'm all right, Doctor. A lot of people in this town are going to be sick.
Ruby, baby. Sure glad to see you. Couldn't start duck season without my sugar.
Hi, Pop.
Oh, honey.
You got some gun you can loan me, Jud?
Sure, I got that 16 gauge with a full choke.
Fine.
Only thing is the muzzle blast.
But I got this compensator.
Let me see that gun, Cullen. I've always wanted it.
Ruby.
Mrs. Gentry. Jud didn't say he was expecting you.
We heard a car drive up, but
You didn't say you were planning on hunting with us today, Boake?
I didn't know I was going to till just a little while ago.
Sit down, gentlemen. New gun?
Yes, it is.
English.
I ordered it through Ginter.
I read an ad for this gun.
Yeah, in the Gun and Rod Journal.
It's listed at nearly $2,000. You must be feeling prosperous.
I ordered it last summer. That was back in the palmy days. But I made up my mind I was going to hunt with it once before I put it up for sale.
Yes, these are mighty lean times.
I was just thinking it's a lucky thing for us that there's a limit on ducks, Mrs. Gentry.
You limiting me to the limit?
Well, no. We're just hoping you'll be generous and leave us a few.
To better times, gentlemen.
It's bound to come. We've weathered worse than this. Droughts and floods and Yankee invasion.
You didn't drink.
To better times. When the swamp trotters take over and turn the whole world into a stinking swamp.